What's up, Instagram? I am testing my new equipment. See if it works. I'm testing on YouTube. I figured why not? Trying to see if anybody actually sees it. I didn't tell anybody. If anybody there has YouTube handy, can you tell me if my live stream is doing anything? What's up, guys? Thumbs up. They look like middle fingers from far away, but that's okay. Should I just do it this way? Is this right? And the other one's wrong? Oh, my girlfriend sees me. She says, I see you on YouTube, kinda. What's kinda? What's kinda? What's up, Harris? Harris Thomas, yo, what's up? Sweet. Okay, so somebody sees me. Alright, brother, how does it look? How's it look? How's it sound? Jason Askew, what's up? James Bond Down Under, what's up? Chillaz, Matt's Lifestyle, what's up? Canadian looks good. How about the sound? Do you hear me okay? What's up, James Bond Down Under? What's Daniel wearing? What's up, brother? Harris looks good to me, okay. There's an echo. Better lighting, yeah. I got a light situated. I gotta tell you, holy shit. I did not realize how thinning I am on top until I started doing this. Jason Askew, what's up? Yeah, echo. Alright, why would there be an echo? That's weird. I'm gonna try something. I don't know if that's gonna work like that, but I'm gonna try a setting. How about now? Is it too quiet? Because I had it set up before like this. Is this better, worse? Can you even hear me? Maybe not. Joseph R., what's going on, brother? Quieter still has echo. Okay, well, so that didn't do anything. Quiet still has echo. Why would that be? How about this? I see everything fine. John Simmons, you're not missing anything, brother. I'm just testing out my equipment. I'm probably going to do this for maybe 20 minutes. Did the echo get better at all? I don't see why it would. chat. What's up? Sounds good to me. You're on Instagram though. That doesn't count. I gotta see how it sounds on the YouTube. If you guys on Instagram want to switch over to YouTube, hey bro, I see you here loud and clear. Is the echo any better? So basically, I bought some new equipment. I bought a new camera, and I bought a setup so I can use my boom microphone while I'm doing live streams. So I'm planning to do one Thursday because Thursday Harris Tom is better. Same echo on YouTube. Really, Canadian? Same echo. Not perfect. Better not perfect. Okay, well. Is the speaker on your computer muted? Yes, it is. It should all be muted. Check. Let me. Did that do anything? Check. Any better. It is an echo, but it's not annoying, brother. Looks fine. As I hear it, it doesn't bother me. Joseph R., you are very kind. Thank you. But I'm hoping to get that tweaked. Why would it be echoing? Sound is strange. I'm using a boom microphone. This room might not be very. It might not lend itself to using this microphone. Maybe I should change it. It could just be bouncing off the ceiling, maybe, so I might have to change it. Just hit that like button. There you go. Let's see. Yeah, if it sounds bad. Let me try something. How about now? Did that do anything? It's pretty big. It's not now the laptop. I mean, the mute is on laptop. There's no sound coming out of the laptop. So why would that be? It could just be that I can't use this microphone, which is going to drive me nuts because I should be able to. What else do I have as far as microphones go? I've got. I could use my Beam James Bond microphone. I could just do this at my desk. Same echo. Okay. So that did nothing. How about that? Did that do anything? Check. How about that? I might have had a setting all goofed up. Jay, what's up? Chillaz, sounds fine. Down under Chillaz, yeah, but we're on. Matt, did that do it? Perfect. All right, I figured it out. I had a setting. All right. How about volume wise? Volume, am I good? All right. No echo. I figured it out. I essentially had two microphones set up. My boom microphone plus my the built-in was picking up also. All right. Okay. So I got 12 people. You want to talk about James Bond for a few minutes, or like I said, I was literally just gonna set this up. I didn't even know. All right, cool. This was sort of like an accident. I was trying to set up my equipment, make sure it worked, because I'm gonna do a live stream on Thursday, because Thursday, again, is the actual. The volume is good. That's the business. Awesome. Yeah. So Thursday is actually 1 year from Bond 25, even though I did that on Valentine's Day. I was here with my girlfriend. We did a little live stream. And it was like, hey, it's 1 year till Bond 25, and then they changed the thing again. So, thoughts on the mask pictures? Oh, okay, yeah, the mask pictures. Well, all right, first of all right, I'm gonna talk now. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about on Thursday. Hope there's some news before Thursday. Yeah, Okay, if you guys heard my podcast that I did Friday, I talked about the spoilers. Wow. It kind of blew my mind. I could not believe that. I mean, they literally just started filming. That video couldn't even have been hours old. That could have been less than a day old for all I know. It could have been almost like just instantaneous. Um, so yeah, I was just sort of blown away that we actually saw such crazy spoilers already. But Bar's calling. Looking forward to Thursday. Arish, brother, thank you, man. Thanks for checking in. And I'll see you Thursday. So yeah, it just kind of blew my mind that we actually had such a big. Yeah, I'm not. Yes, Joseph, I'm not going to talk about what the spoilers actually was. That's definitely not my style. I've already said I'm not going to put any spoiler on my channel or on any video. Just the fact that it exists, though, I mean, that kind of blew my mind. Yeah, Kyle, let me. And the video was weird again. I kind of felt like I'm kind of like that video. Is it gonna ruin people's excitement? Because again, like when you see a movie and they do you see a cool scene and it's really awesome, and then later on you see like the behind the scenes, the making of special or whatever, and you see them sort of filming the same shot. And when you're watching it from a whole different angle, from far away, with no music and no sound effects, and the camera's just way over here instead of being up in the action, it just looks so weird, right? Like it's like, oh, that's no big deal. It just looks like all the magic is gone. So when we start getting these videos of things happening in the movie and it's all, lame like that, it's kind of weak. I kind of feel like, I don't know, like, is it gonna take away people's fun before it even happens? Um, I don't know. So, it was kind of disappointing, and I'm hoping most people will avoid the spoilers. Again, I will be getting. I'll listen to the spoilers. I'll watch what comes because I do a podcast, videos, books, so it helps me to kind of know what's happening. It kind of ruins a little bit of the surprise. Well, it ruins a lot of the surprise. But it just is what it is. As far as the actual look of it, honestly, I have a hunch it's going to look very different when it's complete. So I'm not, I can't really judge based on what was there. Weird looking, but I think it'll all come together. Fukunaga's pretty good, so damn, it just kind of blew up everywhere. You couldn't miss it. Yeah, exactly, and that's rough, you know. And I'll be honest with you, I was sort of debating on doing a video about that, if nothing else, kind of an appeal to the people who put out content. I mean, a lot of the Bond sites had it. The Spy Command handled it really well. They did they did a thing where they put out a blast, an email blast, uh, basically saying a spoiler came out. So, and they said, we're not going to tell you what it is. Here's a link if you want to go to it. And that's honestly probably the best you can do. That's probably the best you can ask for. You probably that's the best way to handle it. If you want a spoiler, here's where you can find it. But we're not just opening our email is not gonna ruin anything. So that was definitely the best way to handle that. So, and I really hope that more content creators will follow that model. I saw it in thumbnails. I saw it in tweets. Again, I that's not what I would do. Is that really the urgent filming before the ice melts scene? Could very well be. I would say probably. So I appreciate you ruining the surprise for yourself to research for future Being James Bond podcast for us. Thank you, Canadian. Yeah, that's basically what it is. I figured, I want to do podcasts. I want to do stuff about the things that Bond does in the film. So to do that, it's best to have a heads up. And plus, when Spectre came out, I did everything to avoid spoilers, and then I saw the movie, and I kind of was like, why was I so worried about the spoilers? I don't know about you, Joseph, but I really think that Bond 25 can't compete with MI5. What I mean is that it has to be very different so it can succeed. What do you think? Yeah. Mission Impossible. I think that was actually 6, by the way. Fallout was 6. Believe it or not. You had Mission Impossible 1, 2, 3, Rogue Nation, Ghost Protocol, then Rogue Nation, then Fallout. Yes, I agree. They have to up their game a little bit to be able to compete with that franchise, especially. And by the way, just strictly in terms of timing or frequency, because Rogue Nation came out the same year as Spectre. Well, we've already seen the follow-up to Rogue Nation come and go. That was last year, and we just started filming Bond 25, which means Bond is lagging behind. So I really kind of hope and plus, by the way, Mission Impossible, I don't know if you know this, but they signed on Tom Cruise to do 2 more that they're going to film back to back. So they're going to get every drop of blood out of Tom Cruise before he gets too old to do this sort of stuff. Did you know, by the way, Tom Cruise, when he filmed Fallout, was older than Wilford Brimley was when he shot Cocoon. That's one of my favorite little tidbits of whatever. So yeah, but so yeah, I think Bond 25 has to up their game. I hope that they are doing that. I wonder if that's one of the reasons why they parted ways with Danny Boyle. I don't know. Just kind of taking a guess. Are you still worried about the script with all the rewrites and such? Well, not so much. I kind of feel like it is kind of a red flag when you have multiple rewrites and multiple writers coming in to work on things. But with that said, you could also, the alternative would be to do what they did when Quantum was being done and they had the writer strike. They just said, well, the hell with it. We'll work with what we got. We'll shoot it. And, Daniel Craig was even working on it, apparently. Aaron, what's up, brother? So, yeah, but again, I think the guys they have working on it, they're pros, they're seasoned pros. I think we're probably in pretty good hands in that respect. So we will see.
Not too worried about it. In fact, I'm of the opinion that they know that they need to do a bang up job. They really, I think they know that this has to be a good one. So I don't think they're going to let a mediocre one go by. They can't, they have to, because Spectre was very disappointing. It was very lackluster. Two in a row is a bad thing. And Craig knows that, by the way. Daniel Craig has to know that. I mean, think about it. At this point, Craig's got 4 films. 2 are good. 2 are lame. I don't think he wants to go out like that. I think he wants his tenure to have a little respect. So I have a hunch that he wants a good one too. Let's see. Yeah, but I wouldn't like that Bond 25 competes with Mission Impossible because it will be obvious. Yeah, it has to be unique. Absolutely, absolutely. I think you don't want them to start mimicking other franchises. When they do that, it doesn't work out. So yeah, they have to keep Bond unique to what makes Bond Bond for sure. Matt Paulson, I have faith it will be similar to Casino Royale. You got a lot of faith, brother. That's a tall order. I'd be real surprised if that's the case, because Casino, I think, just works on a whole different stratosphere. Um, it's a phenomenal film, and if you saw the review I did with Zaritsky that we put out, yeah, I've got tons of praise for that film. I think Casino Royale is a great film, not just a great Bond film. I would put that up against a lot of films, and I think it's incredible. Yes, for Spectre needed, yeah, yes. For example, Spectre needed only one more rewrite. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. What? Well, I don't know. I'm not sure, because I think the whole basic premise of Spectre was off. Didn't really work well. Um, I think they really needed to put some more thought into what they wanted to do with that film. Again, you're bringing back Blofeld. That should have been epic. Um, I think the mistakes that they made on that were made early on in the process. So a better script, another rewrite. You could have polished certain things and ironed out some kinks for sure. But I think the problems with Spectre, they happen in the foundation, really. Kyle Cavill for the next Bond, Afterman from Uncle and Fallout. I like him. I'm with you. I think Cavill is good. I think Cavill. I should really try to find something that he's done where he's speaking in his authentic English accent. When I see him in interviews, I find him to be very charming. But then again, that's kind of the Anglophile in me. Um, I think just accents in general. There's a, you know, I think he comes out pretty wooden when he does an American accent. There's scenes of him as Superman where it's just very flat. However, I also sort of feel like I don't think he has to go crazy to do a decent James Bond. In fact, I kind of feel like after the brooding, the dark brooding Daniel Craig years, uh, you know, I think that it wouldn't be such a bad thing to just kind of lighten it up a little bit. Do some fun, not fun silly. I don't mean like fun like Roger Moore fun, but to do more like, I mean, Casino Royale was grounded, very grounded. In fact, I kind of have a pet peeve with the expression dark and gritty. Everybody says it has to be dark and gritty. You could do dark and gritty without being ugly and grungy. Um, Dark and gritty. I got more people on Instagram than I got on YouTube right now. It's weird. Um, but you know, everybody's always like, "Oh, it's got to be dark and gritty." Well, okay, I don't need it to be dark. I want it to be grounded, meaning like when you watch Casino, I feel like it happens in the real world. Like you could walk into that world and you could just step in. It's that realistic. The other films, they lose a lot of that realism there's a lot of things that they do wrong that contributes to that. And again, they go off on miserable, dark, brooding. It's not a soap opera. It's James Bond. So again, I'd rather see something that is grounded in realism without the dirt under the fingernails, if you know what I mean. You don't have to make it over the top silly, in making it dark and gritty. So what else? I got 10 people. Talk more, guys. Anybody got questions? I need some material to talk about. So what else? What's happening anyway? So I got 2 videos. I got one in the tank ready to go. Dave Zaritsky and I, by the way, we're gonna do more of the videos that we, kind of like the series we just did, where we did the firsts. We're doing more videos about the. Well, I won't spoil anything. I'll just say that we enjoyed doing that, and we're gonna do some more. Other than that, I've got one in-depth discussion of another film with Scott that's ready to go. Scott and I are gonna get back. He and I got to do a test run tomorrow night to to see how his video equipment works, because I want I'd like Scott to be on screen, because again, we do such good work together. Any news on the movie commentaries with Scott? Yes, Miss West Seattle. I was just talking about that. Scott is working on his video equipment. Scott is working on his video equipment. Again, I'd like to see Scott. I want you guys to see what he looks like. Super nice guy, been friends for years. Like when you see him, you'd be like, oh, he's the nicest guy you'd ever meet. So I'd like to have a chance to get him on camera. So he's putting together his video equipment. We're gonna do a test run tomorrow, and hopefully everything works out. Let's check this little. I got more people on Instagram right now. All right, Marcos Conti, what's up, brother? Jason asking what's happening. Looking forward to Thursday. Thanks, brother. Do you know who's the name of the villain for Bond 25? Nope, I do not. Discerning Dad, what's up, brother? What about the rumored villain? I don't. Other than casting rumors that I've heard, I don't know anything more than that. So yeah, no, I don't know anything about that. Brian, what's up? Brian Levesque. Hey, Joe from Oregon. Keep up the podcast and the vlogs. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. They had an opportunity to reboot Blofeld the same way they had done with Bond. Make it special, mythical. No need for an attempt to twist. Yeah. Shyamalan, yeah. like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Yeah, Rami Malek is what I heard. Yeah, I've heard that too. I've heard Rami Malek. I don't know. So yes, I've heard Rami Malek is a strong possibility. It's looking pretty good. So we will see. I'm not positive. I know as much as you do on that one. Looking forward to possible Jamaica scenes. I hear Jamaica could be used again. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I would like that for the same reason I liked Bahamas so much. I love seeing Bond go to classic locations. Plus, it's a tropical location, so it should be pretty cool. And frankly, it gives me a reason to go back to Jamaica. and see new places. So I'm definitely up for that. Lana Del Rey for the theme song. Probably. Honestly, I don't know her that much. I'm kind of a square. I don't know a whole lot of her work, but I've heard good things. So, um, Kyle, funnily enough, was going to thumb through your book for a bit. You know how to butter me up, man. Thank you, sir. But then I got this live stream notification, much more interactive. There you go. Still, I'm chugging away on volume 2. My girlfriend will vouch for me for that. I handed her another chapter the other day. I'm working on another one. Really, really determined to get that done. And again, I don't want to rush it. Well, I don't want to rush it through and have the quality be lacking. I want it to be good, but yeah, it's I'm definitely plugging away pretty hard on that. So hopefully, not hopefully, it's gonna get done. And you know, Aaron Dishko waiting for the second. Thank you, brother. Um, do we think Daniel Craig won't have any scenes in Norway? Well, that's an interesting question. Isn't that an interesting? Since they're filming what they're filming, and again, I'm not going to spoil what was in the video. You probably saw it if you're watching this one. They yeah, based on what I saw, I'd be curious to know if James Bond would be in that location and why. So it's hard to say. That's an interesting question. If I think Craig will have any scenes set in Norway. Hints on the topics for Volume 2. Sure. Again, I kind of choose things from. No, how do I explain this right? If you've been to the Being James Bond website, which is getting a total makeover, by the way, you know how I break things up: Bond the Sportsman, Gambling, The Good Life, Extreme 007, Rest and Recreation. Same deal here. The first one was like, poker, London, drinks and mixology, horseback riding, etc. So it's the same format here, where it's one or more topics from each of those. So for Bond the Sportsman, we're going to have golf. For gambling, we're going to have blackjack, as was done in License to Kill. For The Good Life, this time it is food and wine, which is very extensive. There's going to be 2 travel chapters this time. This is nice because I have it's just a tight little group. So, it's not like I'm spoiling any surprises, but since you guys were here, I can tell you little secrets. 2 travel sections this time. The first one was London. This one is going to have Paris and the Bahamas. So I'm looking forward to that one. Endgame trailer. Oh my god, yes, totally. So what else I got? The Rest and Recreation is sailing. The Extreme 007 is going to be skydiving. Am I forgetting anything? Probably most of it. So yeah, I'm very happy with what's going into Volume 2. It's it's coming along nice. So like I said, I'm pretty happy with it. Here's a conundrum. How do I make the cover look different than the first one? I want it to be a series, so I want the cover to be. My plan was to make the cover look exactly like the first cover, with just different. It says Volume 2 and it has different topics on the front. I'm worried that when it sits on Amazon and people see the cover, they're gonna go, "Oh, I have that one already," because they'll think it's Volume 1. Should I maybe do a bogus cover for I thought about just doing the same thing, but maybe doing like a yellow banner in the corner saying new volume or something like that. Not sure what's gonna happen there. But again, I wanted to be volume. I want the volumes to look similar, so that when you have all of them, they'll look nice on the shelf or whatever. So we'll see. Matt, sounds awesome. Keep commenting. There'll be a great set of handbooks. Thank you, brother. Yeah. I'm gonna keep it small like the first one, size wise. Might be a little thicker even than the first one in terms of the amount of pages. So anyway, so yeah. By the way, so I'm trying to talk my girlfriend Mary into doing the live cast with me on Thursday because she did it with me for Valentine's Day, and that was fun. It's nice to be able to do things with her, you know, do stuff together. So, I'm hoping she'll come around. I think she said to me that she felt like she didn't contribute anything, which is wrong. In fact, I was rewatching it, and honestly, I was very impressed with how much she actually did kick in. So, maybe different color outlines instead of the red. I did think of that, but then I get, yeah, green, red. Uh, Kyle, yeah, that's good stuff. I got two Kyles, both giving me good ideas. The different color outlines, I did think of that, and again, my background is graphic design, so I mean, I did think it's weird because I'm anal and very big on consistency. On the other hand, I don't want it to look exactly the same. Yeah, different colors. I did think of that. My color scheme though is like I like the black and white plus the red. Um, my website uses that. Red is in my logo and the one that you see in the corner. Um, so the black and white with red is kind of my thing. So if I change that outline, there's two problems. First of all, if I change the color of the outline, it just kind of doesn't look like me anymore. The other problem is, let's say I do volume 1, 2, 3, 4, and I go all the way up to 8. Well, suddenly now I'm going to have a rainbow of colors in that. Like if you lay it out, it's going to look like a rainbow, and I'm going to be like, well, that's not what I'm going for. So again, that's when you start to think a couple chess moves down, that's the problem I have. I will probably use something, I like to maybe use a business suit instead of a dinner jacket. That's a clever idea, like a Turnbull and Asser tie. That is interesting. That would kind of change it up a lot, and it almost gets me a little nervous. I have to think about that, but that's not a bad idea. I'm not sure though. I have a hunch. Volume 2, a white dinner jacket. And again, that's another one. The white dinner jacket. Changing the suit on the cover. Changing the suit on the cover. All right, guys, what do you think about that? Changing the suit on the cover instead of the tux. I'm gonna kick that. I'm gonna kick that around. Actually, it's a pretty interesting idea. If I kept the kind of dimensions the same, you know. See, again, one of the things about that tux that I did was, if you notice the shape where the lapels come down, they form a point, and that's kind of that's sort of an old school graphic design technique. What I've essentially done is made an arrow pointing down to the logo, and it's not an accident. So to change that would interesting. I will definitely kick it around a little bit because that is a very I didn't think of that, and that is kind of interesting. I don't know if it would work. I also have a plan so that when you put when you stack them up together, when you look at them on the shelf, they'll sort of be a background pattern that'll make sense when you see it. I also might even change the dimensions a little bit, and if I do, I'll do some kind of a promo. The problem is that the publishing service that I used for the first one, by the way, that dimension was specific. They offered that as an option. I'm probably going to have to go a different route this time because, believe it or not, even in the short length of time since I did the first one, the Amazon's service has gotten so big. I mean, Amazon in general has gotten just gigantic in the last. I mean, the first one came out in when did that one come out? 2012. So in that span of time, Amazon has gotten gigantic. So GoldenEye 19, yes, there are. I know I've been saying it forever, but yeah, it's coming. Um, anyway, so because Amazon has gotten so huge, it would be crazy not to use their service this time. Their dimensions are slightly different. That smallish pocket size is, I mean, again, not big or anything, but it's just a little different. So I might actually have to do another printing, another, do they call it second edition? Another edition of Volume 1. If I do, I will definitely do some kind of a promo, maybe like a contest or something, for anybody who bought the first one. I'll do something like, okay, Volume 1 is out, but the size is different, and since Volume 1 and 2 will sort of look to get like nice together on the shelf, anybody who bought the first one, I'll probably do something like, take a picture with you with the first book, send me a nice little paragraph, or put something on Amazon, like, oh, this book is great. I'll send you a free copy of the second printing of Volume 1. Something like that. Do a Kickstarter for the book and have some cool higher tiers, like a lunch with you or a joint podcast. You can, if you're in town, we'll do lunch. I don't know if doing lunch with me is that big of a win a contest. You can spend an hour in my company now. I mean, I don't have the chutzpah to Bond Armory. What's up, Ray? What's going on, partner? Yeah, the Kickstarter's interesting, and the tiers and stuff. But by the way, I also am. I have set myself up on Patreon. I haven't really done anything to sort of announce that I'm on Patreon, but it's there. I might at some point, do something to sort of say, all right, I'm finally on. I have no clue what I would do because I know people who do it. The guys, a lot of people are doing it now. They're on Patreon and they do something. Mike Poplowski, what's up, brother? Poplowski. People do, oh, if you kick in this much, I'll give you X. I don't know what X would be. For anybody who does the Patreon, I gotta think of something. But for now, it's there and it's like a little tip jar. But again, I haven't announced it at all yet. So I will, at some point I will, and see what comes of that. So I'm at an interesting career crossroads, by the way. So that if Patreon all of a sudden becomes a thing, you never know. Patreon is cool, yeah. So what else? I'm trying to think of what else has been going on. And again, I don't want to talk about everything I was going to talk about, but again, because this is sort of like X should be one of the. Oh yeah, Being James Bond T-shirts. Yeah. I have to. I experimented with the T-shirts. I've got one. I have one. Scott has one. My buddy Alan has one. I don't know if I'm up to doing the Bond Experience swag yet, but yeah, you never know. But it is actually not a bad idea for Patreon, to do something for people who kick into Patreon. So what else? I'm trying to think of what else has been going on. I mean, I honestly feel like there's been so much crazy stuff with Bond 25. That it's like I'm still sort of, my head is still spinning from that leaked video. I mean, they probably shot that like that morning, and now it's already online. Merch would be awesome. Yeah, it's a good idea. I'm gonna kick it around some. I know Zariski he loves it. He's got his logo on all kinds of things. So Being James Bond, something with Being James Bond on it, with some words on it. Yeah, I mean, I could see it. So I could, definitely possible. Nothing over here. Brian Levesque. Keep it original like Volume 1 so people know it's you. Yeah, like I said, I'm very anal about keeping things consistent. Just put you in a tux on the cover, Discerning Dead. Very kind, very kind. I don't know if anybody would buy that, though. I hope there's a trailer by Christmas. Yeah, me too. Well, I actually no, yeah. I'm sure we'll have a trailer by Christmas. Is it time that we see the typical Bond flirting with Moneypenny in the office, M sitting in his chair, and the Q distributing the gadgets instead of seeing them out in the field as much as we have seen? Yeah, that's a thing. Roy boy, hey, what's going on, Roy? How's the Bond 25 Fitness Challenge coming along? As you can see, slowly, but it honestly, it's coming along. I'm definitely my diet is. I mean, my diet's always been pretty good, but I'm definitely a lot more regimented than I have been. So I've been at the gym. I'm sort of in that, like when you first start to feel like you're kind of snapping back a little bit. Um, your arms are kind of pumped again, and you're feeling better. I'm definitely there. I'm feeling a lot better. Got way more to go though. So my schedule has changed a little bit, so I'm happy to be getting back into some regular activity. As far as putting M back behind the desk and Q back in the lab and Moneypenny back at the desk and not going out in the field all the time. Yeah. Honestly, it's so weird these days. I just recorded a podcast tonight for my other podcast, the Reviews Without Remorse podcast. We just finished up the series of Star Trek films, the new one with Chris Pine as Captain Kirk, and it's the new one, the latest one, the last one, Star Trek Beyond. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good, and it had more elements of what was Star Trek. What the things that Captain's Log and a lot more elements of what I remember. Again, it's still kind of the rock and roll Star Trek, an Ain't Your Granddaddy Star Trek, but it was closer. It was closer to what we like. But again, it's like you have to just sort of acknowledge these days that like the people in Hollywood right now, they're just not confident enough to do an old school, thoughtful film. It just has to be a spectacle. It has to be over the top. Um, so it's a struggle. So kind of just doing an old school James Bond film these days. I don't know if we're ever going to see it again in some respects, because I think they just they're just too nervous to just. Again, we're starving for an old school Bond film, but I think they think, well, I guess I don't know. I guess it's just not going to go over these days. But we'll see. I could have my Bond experience hat with a Being James Bond shirt, and all the ladies will be looking at me. I totally agree, Kyle. Good. That's a great. Again, I'm gonna give that some thought for sure. So will Craig be driving the electric Aston, or is that just a rumor? That's interesting. I did hear that as well. I don't know for a fact that that's the case. Again, I've heard the rumor too. It's kind of weird. Like, I don't have any problem. I don't have any problem with the electric car in theory. What does kind of bother me is Bond getting behind the wheel and taking off, and the car doesn't make any noise. You don't hear the engine roar at all. That's weird. I mean, otherwise I could care less. I mean, they're not going to have a scene. I mean, it's not like we've ever seen Bond stop for gas. Well, except for Octopussy, I suppose. It's not like he ever runs out of gas, so it's not like we're ever going to see him stop to plug the car in. So I don't really care either way. But yeah, that roar of the engine, yeah, that's different. If that's the case, so we'll see. Merch raises funds, but also acts as advertising. Yeah, that it certainly does. So that's pretty sweet. We'll have as much Bond fan community merch as actual Bond merch. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe I should really think about doing that. Um, love reviews without remorse. Thanks, Kyle. Cold and I love reviews without remorse. Thank you. I tell you what, that's I hope we're going into our third year with that. Which is probably not long at all in the big scheme of things. Being James Bond it's 12 years, more than that even, going on 13 years. So the reviews without remorse, it's not exactly doing gangbusters. So I mean, we I mean the podcast I think is doing okay. We also post them on YouTube just as sort of a secondary. You can get it there if you want. Um, Not exactly getting a lot of views. So, I'm kind of, we'll see how that goes. We enjoy doing it. Um, Dave has taken up the reins. He pretty much does all the editing now. So it's really not difficult. I mean, I just watch one movie a week. Not exactly hard to do, and then sit with him and talk about it for an hour. He does the editing, so it's really pretty painless. And the reason why I sound kind of on the fence with it, well, I mean, it's not exactly doing great, and also, you know, I want to be focused on being James Bond. I got a lot to do in terms of trying to get that book done and to try to generate content, do videos to keep people interested. So, it's fun to do. We always enjoy talking to each other about movies. So we'll see how it goes. Blade Runner 2049 was that, and it failed money wise. Was what? I kind of lost track of what was. Blade. Yeah, Blade Runner 2049 was interesting. I really didn't like it when I saw it, but I feel like that's the kind of movie I really need to give another shot, because it was a capable movie. Um, Canadian, what do you think of the period piece Bond movies? Have you guys been listening, by the way, to the podcast that David Lay has been doing with Calvin Dyson? It's called James Bond and Friends. Um, they put out their third one. It was either just it was in the last few days, if not today. And that's one of the things that they mentioned. It's funny. Um, what do you think of period piece Bond movies or TV series, possibly animated, as they were discussing? I'm sitting here just saying exactly what you just said. Sorry, I mean, you made me think of it, and that's why. Um, the period that I've been saying for years, literally years, honestly, that they should go back and do the original books as period films, and I've always said that they should do it on like a Netflix, like a Netflix or an HBO or Amazon. Um, I think that'd be pretty cool. Because again, when you watch stuff like Mad Men or movies like, remember Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo and Tom Hanks, set in that time frame and everybody's still wearing suits. I mean, it's awesome. So, I have to watch movies like that to see period movie. Why not do Bond in that original? Um, I mean, go back to when a lot of the stuff that Bond did was really sort of cutting edge. Um, I think it'd be great. I really would like it. And again, they wouldn't have to be slavishly devoted to the books. I mean, they could, change it, update it slightly, or just, because the books are weird because some of them work as, they're novels. They're reasonable size. You could, but again, like when you see Casino Royale, like they have to add a lot to it to make it a 2-hour movie. So even if you did it as a series, you could still touch it up. Touch it up to make it, to make it work. But when you get into some of that, again, the first few are novels. Then you get into like the batches of short stories. So it's like, well, what do you do with those? And some of the books are better than others. Some are amazing. Some are a little quirky. You Only Live Twice comes to mind. So again, I don't know how it would be not perfect to do that. Like again, it's not like doing the Lord of the Rings where you have like a perfect trilogy and you can just do them exactly. But yeah, definitely worth exploring. Animated series, I don't know. Did you see the thing that was going around yesterday? By the way, because it was April Fool's Day. It was somebody said, oh, they're doing James Bond Jr. again, and Daniel Craig Jr. is going to be the an animated. You could do stuff. I think you could do. I mean, it's interesting because when you say animated, you think of, something that is geared for a younger audience. Um, you know, Not saying you can't do adult. I mean, anime is very adult sometimes. Um, you could do an interesting animated thing. And some of the stuff they're doing today with animation, sure. What's up, Nathan? Welcome. Old school film, yep. GoldenEye, what's your favorite James Bond video game? Can't say GoldenEye N64. Well, I don't know what to tell you then. N64 was phenomenal, obviously. Yeah, it's funny too because on my shelf, where I do my videos usually, I still have all the video games lined up, and yeah, I remember all of them. Do you know what do you remember 007 Racing? It was really. This is going back to the late 90s, early 2000s, and it wasn't even that good for the time, but boy was that fun. So I wouldn't mind another Bond racing game, by the way. Everything or Nothing was cool, if I remember them right. Yeah, they really did some interesting stuff. I like those old games. Even, Quantum Solace game was good. I remember playing that online against people. Like once you got through the whole thing, it had you could play against other people, and that was pretty decent. Not as good as the original GoldenEye, but still pretty good. Eon just needs to focus on getting the 007 movies out quickly. Amen, brother. Bloodstone, Rogue Agent were fun Bond games. Yeah, Bloodstone was pretty good. I don't know if I ever finished that one, actually. Who is the best non-Fleming Bond author? Boy, that's a good one. Kyle, 007 Racing. Now, there's a throwback. Seriously, that was a good game. I kind of have a soft spot for Raymond Benson, even though his writing was just okay. He was not a trained writer. He did nonfiction books about Bond, and then they came to him and asked him about doing a novel, to which of course he said, "Hell yeah," which I would too. But his stuff was really hit and miss, and High Time to Kill was easily his best one. After that, but I have sort of a soft spot because again, I like him, and I like the fact that he's a fan. The subsequent books, I thought the one that Jeffrey Deaver did was pretty good, and I thought it was interesting because he updated it for today. And he's still trying to. It was like he was trying to take some of the elements from the classic stuff, and modernize it, and a lot of it worked. I thought it was pretty interesting. So his was pretty good. Tarantino. Yeah. Oh, I brought up Blade Runner because it's a good example of why Hollywood is afraid to do old school movies. Yes, Tarantino gets away with it, sure. Yeah, perfectly good point. Harris, what's up, brother? Welcome back. Glad to see you're still streaming. Yeah, I'm probably going to wrap it up soon because I'm going on an hour, and I was not expecting to do this tonight. But what the hell? They need to do a Red Dead 2 style 007 game. I don't know what that is. I'm kind of a, I literally for years the only games I ever got were the Bond games. In fact, I got like a PlayStation 2 only to play the newest Bond game, and I haven't really played anything in ages. So, Matt, you're so right. I do not like these long waits between the Bond films. Yeah, I wish these. I wish. Have you guys noticed? Oh, there goes Instagram. Only an hour. Have you ever looked at the Eon homepage, the Eon Productions website? It's kind of, I find it to be very telling because they list all the films that they've been working on, and you would think James Bond would be like front and center, far beyond any of the other ones. James Bond is like the second one on the list. Like they have a couple things and some plays, so they are trying to expand themselves and say, look, we're not just James Bond, but it also just sort of goes to show you where their heads are. That they want to be doing other things besides James Bond. Well, I focus on James Bond. I love James Bond Jr. as a kid. You believe it or not, I've never actually seen, even back then, because I was still pretty young when that came out. I never saw it. I don't think I've ever actually sat through one of them, to be honest with you. Horowitz has nailed it. Yeah, Horowitz is really good. Horowitz is really good. I have to get back into the new one. I was a couple chapters in and I got distracted, so I gotta get back to it. Need to play Red Dead 2. All right, Kyle. I'll keep an eye out. Western stuff. I think I've heard of it. I think I've seen the commercials. An open world James Bond game. There you go. Okay, that would be pretty interesting, wouldn't it? If he could kind of jet set around and go, oh boy, could you imagine if they did a James Bond game that was open world where they actually recreated locations like accurately? Like, could you imagine a game where Bond goes to like the one and only Ocean Club and like he's actually walking around the actual Ocean Club so that you can sort of feel like you've been there? Palmyra, I mean, they could recreate Palmyra so you can walk around there. Wow, that actually, oh my god, you guys got me thinking now. That would be cool as hell. Yeah. And again, why is that taking forever? Again, like we used to get a new James Bond game every year. So, yeah, again, how come we haven't had a Bond game in ages? Bond in the south of France is just as perfect as Bond in the Caribbean. I would agree with that. Yeah, I would agree with that. I kind of, it's funny. My perfect, my T minus 30 days till being at the Ocean Club. Harris Thomas, he will be at the Ocean Club. If you guys want pictures, ask Harris. I haven't been to the Ocean Club in quite a while. The last time I was in the Bahamas, the Ocean Club got slammed with some hurricane damage, so it was shut down for a while. So yeah, I would love to go back there again. South of France, it's interesting that you say that because honestly, I kind of felt like, as an example, like Casino Royale. One of the reasons why it's one of the perfect Bond films is because they have a good balance because they'll do location in like they had a tropical location and then like a European location, and I kind of feel like that's almost like the perfect way to go. Bond in the Bahamas and then Bond in Eastern Europe was like such a great combination right there. Oh, there we go. Bond Go, like Pokemon Go. Just catch bad guys on the go around town. That's pretty smart. I like that one. I used to want to be James Bond when I grew up. Now I want to be Harris Thomas. Harris Thomas, boy, have you ever seen anybody as well dressed as that guy? If you guys are not following Dressing Like Bond on Instagram, check it out because Harris is doing great. This guy, he doesn't leave his house not looking sharp. So he really does a nice job with that. Harris, don't forget your old man shirt. Yeah, James Bond Go. Just call it Scaramanga. I like that. By the way, check out the Bond Armory on YouTube, on Instagram. The YouTube videos are really cool. I am overdue for a trip down to the gun range to visit the Bond Armory. So, go have a popsicle. All right, I'll probably wind down pretty soon. This is going on an hour. I'm probably gonna come. So yeah, now that I know this works, I'll probably do one on Thursday, which again is 1 year from Bond 25. So maybe I'll get my girlfriend to join me. It'd be nice. So yeah, so definitely Thursday, and I'll probably go probably around 8 o'clock Eastern time in the U.S. Then we'll go for like an hour or two. Thanks, brother. Yes, you are. A few new toys to take out. Cool. The one and only time I've ever fired a semi-automatic machine gun was with the Bond Armory. So I'm definitely want to do that again. Hey Travis, what's going on? Just watched your top 5 rejected Bond themes. I have such a soft spot for Blondie. You are probably from my era, my friend, right? You're around in the 70s, or the early 80s when Blondie was hot. Yeah. Yeah, that was a fun video. If you guys haven't seen it, check out my top 5 rejected Bond theme songs. It's worth the watch. Honestly, I know people kind of you get into the specifics of Bond, and this one feels like it's outside of the realm of what Bond is. But honestly, it's really interesting stuff. A panel type live stream with guest panelists weekly would be amazing. That would be pretty sweet, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'd have to figure out how to do that. Would be kind of cool if I could do like a James Bond radio type roundtable video. I don't know how you would do that though. Matt Polson, upcoming video, yes sir. Oh, we got 22 people now. This is pretty cool. Yeah, Matt, we got. First off, I have the stuff I have in the tank is a lot of. I feel like I've spent a lot of time doing, movie review style podcasts and videos. So I got a couple things that are, I got one really in-depth one with Scott that we're gonna do. He's coming back. We're gonna do our reviews again that we haven't done in years. So totally very cool. The View, but with Bond fans. There you go. That's an interesting one. Yeah, so I got a couple things going on. By the way, for people who have been watching Being James Bond forever, like for a long time, if you've been around that long, you might have remembered I did a really in-depth review of License to Kill. I wanted to get back to doing those style videos, so I've been working on redoing that, updating it, with kind of a fun little intro in the beginning, which I think people are going to really like. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to putting that out. In fact, I got to get cracking on it. So, but it'll be fun. Nothing's as annoying as The View, amen, brother. I'm going to grab another water. Yeah, it would be kind of cool. I would love to do more, panels kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's always great when you get like 2 or more Bond fans together. JBR, this was not new, but I saw them. They interviewed Anders from Sweden with Love, and he's really cool, super nice guy. And it was really cool seeing them together. It's so great when you see like different people from different, Bond outlets get together. That's always cool. Yeah, Anders is cool as hell. Love Anders. What else? See, this is rough because you do this for an hour, and then an hour into it, now you have a lot of people on the stream, so you don't want to end it. But again, like I'll be back on Thursday. Trying to think what else is going on. What else is happening? Did you guys see the review of Casino Royale? Did you see me gush over it? I mean, you can tell that It's like my off the hook favorite Bond. Arnold for the score. Hell yeah. Really hope they bring back David Arnold. I thought the last two was fine. Well, I take it back. The score for Skyfall was good. I liked it a lot. Not as good as Arnold, but I thought that Skyfall had its own unique. It was very unique because of the score. But then when Spectre comes along, he just did the same stuff all over again. You know, that's nothing more annoying than hearing the same cues again. It's so bad. So that was kind of that was a little irritating. So yeah, I would very much like David Arnold to come back. I think he is phenomenal. I would love to see. We got the Passion of the Trekkers, just better dresses. Trekkies, not Trek. Yeah, I'm old school, so I say Trekkies too. Just better dressed. I would love to see a live commentary with. I would love to see a live commentary like the bonus commentary on a DVD. Watch the movie. Well, I've thought of that before. That's come up before to do like commentaries of the film. That would be interesting, and that wouldn't be that hard to do. I worry that they'd be a little boring. Like there'd be a lot of gaps where nothing exciting is interesting, so we're just whatever. So Matt Paulson, 8 o'clock Thursday. All right, 8 o'clock it is. Thank you, brother. Should I make it 9 o'clock for people in different time zones? 9 o'clock. Okay. 6 o'clock on the West Coast. Think we might be getting a press conference this week. Well, it's around that time, isn't it? It's around the time where they would be doing it. So I think it's probably they're gonna. I mean, as long as we know they're filming, then they have to know a title. They have to know certain things. So I would say, if not this week, probably very soon. So and come to think of it, I'll have to do a video when the title comes out. Did you ever think of? I don't know why I'm all stuffed up. By the way, I'm sorry, I'm sniffling. Did you ever think of doing a book review series on the podcast? I haven't read many of them, but it might get me to read more. That's a great idea. Calvin Dyson is currently doing that, so I probably wouldn't do that right now. But yeah, and I wouldn't mind an excuse to read them again. They're all good. I haven't read many. Read them. They're good. Honestly, jump in. Reading the books will really flesh out your appreciation of Bond more. I think it's definitely well worth reading the books. You'll enjoy the hell out of them. The Snow Plane cue from Spectre, yeah, good piece of music. Yes, Casino Royale is possibly the most accessible Bond movie for this generation. I am a From Russia with Love guy, but I agree it's a great all-around film. I agree, and it's weird. I like I said in the review I did with Zariski, it's almost like I have a hard time hearing myself say it that my new favorite is like a new film. I kind of feel like you just sort of have to say that your favorite is one of the classics. But yeah, I mean, Casino's just that good. Again, it's not just a great Bond film; it's a great film. I want to hear you review Never Say Never Again. Interestingly, Scott and I did a review of Never Say Never Again a while back. That would be a good one. Sometimes I take old podcasts that are pretty timeless, that are pretty evergreen, and put them to video. And I find that it's a good way to supplement when I'm working on something. I'll have something in the tank. That's a good one to actually make a video out of. I might actually do that because I don't know if I want to sit through Never Say Never Again just to do a video of it again. We covered it. Check on the podcast. Look at some of the old episodes. You'll find it. You're right, Nathan. Most friends I have turned on to Bond with Casino Royale. Yeah, how could you not? How could you not? I actually turned my girlfriend into a Bond fan with The World Is Not Enough. Now that's interesting. See, I always say, like, the Brosnans, I love them too. Everybody does. But I always feel like when you watch those, there's some parts that are great, and there's always one or two parts where it's like, it's kind of cringy. So, Miss West Seattle, are you from West Seattle, by the way? I mean, is that a stupid question? My dad was watching Octopussy back in the early '90s, and that's the one that got me hooked as a kid. Me too. That was mine. That was the one that got me. For Your Eyes Only was For Your Eyes Only was literally the first Bond I ever saw. And it was on, like, it just came out. It was on cable, HBO or whatever. So we were watching it all the time. So when Octopussy came out, I was like, oh, like in my mind, I'm like, oh, the sequel to For Your Eyes Only is out. Let's go see it. So I saw it in the theater, and it was probably the following year that they put that on HBO or whatever, and it was on all the time, that I really, really got the bug, and just watched it like crazy. It was awesome. So yeah, boy, Octopussy is the one that got me too. And Octopussy, I still say it is so underrated. It is such an underrated film. So yeah, just I could talk about that. That's one I gotta do a review of that one, because I could talk about that one forever. Yes, I am. Yeah, Wes. Okay, I got a friend in Seattle. My friend Dave, who I do reviews without remorse with, he's in Seattle. He was originally from New Jersey, but he lives in Seattle now. He works for Microsoft. In fact, Dave was actually the guy. He was the one who actually got me into doing podcasts in general. He did a gaming podcast way back in the day. And because he started working for Microsoft, he actually works on games. He's got non-disclosures that he actually can't discuss, so he really can't do a gaming podcast anymore, which is half the reason why he's like, let's do movies, whatever. Yeah. Living Daylights was the first in the theaters that I remember real well. Yeah, same here. In fact, if you heard us talking about The Living Daylights, I actually wrecked my car on the way to seeing The Living Daylights. It was me and a friend, and we were kind of racing to get there, and literally pulling into the parking lot. I pulled in and swung around the building to whatever, and there was like a big, not a curb, but like a divider, something between like, just didn't belong there. Something between a big curb and the divider, and I literally I mounted my car right on top of it. It was like just teetering on it. It was crazy. Tomorrow Never Dies is the one that got me. Cool, that's a good one. Tomorrow Never Dies, I remember that one being. I remember thinking that even as much as I loved when I was younger going to the Bond movies, Octopussy, Living Daylights, like, I remember seeing them in the theater and being really into it. Tomorrow Never Dies was probably, like, I was probably really kind of on a whole different level of Bond fanaticism around then. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I would have loved to see The Living Daylights in the theaters. That opening sequence is so damn good. Amen to that. Yeah, Living Daylights. That actually might be my Casino Royale. I saw that 6 times in the theater. Like, I just could not see that enough times. I probably should have seen it one more just to say I saw it 007 times, but 6 was I saw it 6 times. So, but The Living Daylights, believe it or not, that might be my second runner-up, because I know I saw that one at least like 3 times in the theater, and I don't really see movies over and over often. Not in the theater anyway. I'm not going to pay like good money to go see the same movie over and over, especially knowing that it's going to be on Blu-ray in a few weeks these days. I just saw Captain Marvel a second time because I wanted to take my niece to go see it. I took my 2 nieces to see it. So yeah. Ugh. All right, it's an hour. I'm an hour and 20 minutes into it now, so I might start wrapping this up. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna do it again on Thursday. I'll try to talk Mary into joining me. I don't know if she's going to or not. But we will see. So, what's everybody doing? Anybody got anything going on? Anybody got any the weather? Good weather's finally starting to happen. So, all right, should we wrap this up? It's 11. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock. I got to work tomorrow. So. All right, guys. I think I will call it. But thank you for, again, I didn't announce it. I didn't really give anybody any time to, I literally just hit the button. Just wanted to make sure my stuff was working. So I will, I'll be back on Thursday. And, you know, we'll do this again. I'll make it 8 o'clock on Thursday. I'm tempted to do it at 9 o'clock. Yeah. I tell you what, Miss West Seattle, since you are on the West Coast, you're making me think I should make it 9 o'clock. So it'll be 6 o'clock your time. Thank you, Nathan. You have a good night too, and I'll hopefully see you on Thursday. So for the second time, I can sit here and say, "Oh, it's 1 year until Dawn 25." 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock? We'll be here Thursday, 8 o'clock sharp. Cool. I guess we'll say, is 8 o'clock all right? I guess 8 o'clock makes sense. 9 p.m. Just so you guys know, I'm a Libra. We're very indecisive by nature. All right. So you made up my mind. I'll do it. I'll do it at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock on Thursday. I'll put something on Instagram and probably Facebook. By the way, I have a mailing list. I don't really do email blasts very often. But if you go to beingjamesbond.com, you'll see a place where you can sign up for the email blast, which I really do every once a month or two when some things are out. So, all right, so 8 o'clock Thursday. All right, guys. Well, thank you big time, and thanks again. Thanks for helping me test my equipment, make sure it all works, and that's it. We'll wrap it up. So, thank you guys, and I'll see you on Thursday. Have a good one. Now, how do I turn this off?